Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Mental Muse 2.0, and if you noticed, here lately, I noticed a couple other people have not been able to sleep very well. Whether it's been some of my friends of mine or even me myself. Well, you ever wondered that why you can't fall asleep, why you're tossing and turning all night, why you're probably waking up tired and sore? Well, some of these questions could be related to medical issues like insomnia, sleep apnea, any autoimmune disorders, or even some mental disorders you might possibly have or don't realize you have, or even some medications that you're probably taking. Well, there might be, after ruling out those problems, some other more simple solutions to these issues. So, today we're going to talk about how to get a great night's sleep. So, first of all, let's talk about the basics and the most obvious things. Well, the first thing you want to try to do is avoid caffeine, obviously, but you also just want to avoid it 6 hours before bedtime. Now, 6 hours. Now, typically, most people probably try to get some sleep around about 10 or 11 o'clock, so that means you can't really have or try not to have any caffeine at dinner time, or even afterwards. Now, some people who live in the city, particularly, are those that are used to set in their ways, or used to having a glass of wine at dinner time, or having a nice nightcap. If I want to be a little, um, I guess, old timers, would love to have a nightcap before you go to bed. If you're not sure what I mean maybe a little, shot of some whiskey, some rum, or something like that, or some gin. And some people, they're stressed out, and typically that may help them have a good night's sleep. Well, unfortunately, um, while those things don't actually pertain to actual caffeine related, it also, but they do have alcohol in them, and alcohol converts to sugar and therefore in your bodies, and so typically you're gonna have sugar in your system, and it's just like you're giving a 2-year old a bunch of candy before they go to bed, and you want to know why you still can't sleep at night. Now, if you don't have that problem and you still do those things, it's probably because your body has been used to it over time. And it's not very good for your body, but you know what? Hey, each its own, I guess. So, but pertaining to actual caffeine, if, for example, though, if you have a set bedtime at about 11 p.m., you don't need any caffeine, even tea. Don't forget about tea, because tea is one of those things that most people think they forget about. Tea, any kind of tea, has caffeine in it. Even chamomile tea has caffeine in it. Some of them you'll say, oh, no caffeine on the box or whatever it is, but it still has some type of caffeine in it. I mean, it may have a very, very, very small traces of it, but there's some caffeine in it. It's almost a nearly impossible, especially if it's natural. You're not going to be able to get rid of the caffeine completely. I mean, it's just like soda. People think, oh, it's caffeine free, or it's, zero sugar, or, diet. It's There's still going to be some traces. It's just not high enough to say that it's going to cause some type of effect for you. So, back to what I was saying, though. I mean, if you have a set bedtime at 11 p.m., you can't really, you're not supposed to have any caffeine, even tea, after 5 p.m. So basically, at dinner, your odds are you're gonna end up either drinking juice, or, and you want, particularly, you don't want juice with sugar in it, because again, that converts to being hyperactivity. Um, your ideal is you want to like try to see if you can try to do some water. Water is one of those best things you can do before you go to bed, anyways. And many physicians sit there and say that drinking some water sometimes can actually help, especially if you're older. It helps the circulatory system regulate, and so at least you're supposed to drink water like before you go to bed, and also before, whenever, the first thing you drink whenever you wake up in the morning, because we're made out of water and we're dehydrated. So, yeah. But you want to also make sure, though, if you can't help it and you really really need that glass of wine at dinner time, make sure you keep it to a very minimum, probably maybe no more than one or two small glasses. Um, and make sure, and this is a disclaimer here, I'm no physician here, I'm not going to tell you what you can or cannot do, I'm just giving advice here. You can take it, and or you can leave it, but definitely, guys, please be careful though. But if you are taking any time of night medications, do not mix it with alcohol. That includes with your wine. Please do not mix it together, because that is very dangerous. So, and also it could be very lethal, and you will never know. Some people say, well, it's never hurt me before, or whatever, but still, you don't want to mix it. Even that includes even over the counter medications. Please do not mix it with alcohol. Um, it is specifically, the guidelines are there on the labels for a reason, and so we need to try to adhere to those guidelines. Now, besides avoiding caffeine, you want to set a timer. Now, if you're like me and you don't sleep at any certain times schedule, then maybe that's why you're kind of groggy, or you can't sleep because of your circadian rhythm. It's like all messed up. I mean, I myself, I don't have a set schedule. I am a stay-at-home mother. My child homeschools, so we kind of have our own scheduling kind of going on. So, and she's pretty self-sufficient, so it's kind of like we really don't really have an actual set schedule where I have to be up at a certain time, I have to be ready, and I have to be out the door and be at work or whatever. And I don't have a set time where I have to be in bed by a certain time, unless I have something planned to do the next morning and night, like at a doctor's appointment, or we have like a field trip to go to, or we have to meet up with somebody or whatever. I don't have an actual set schedule, so that could be also another reason. Now, just because I don't need to have a set schedule, my body is probably craving some type of set schedule. So that's probably why sometimes I'll wake up groggy, or I can't go to sleep at night. It's probably because my whole rhythm is messed up. We each have our own circadian rhythm. Now, circadian rhythm is basically, in a nutshell, your internal clock. Every person is different. Now, when we had our daughter, and way back when, it was crazy because I was prepared to be a parent that's going to have a child that's going to wake me up all night long, and is going to be up at the crack of dawn, or not going to bed at night and all this stuff. But actually, that wasn't the case. Actually, what happened was that she had her own internal clock. Surprisingly, we found her magical numbers. That's what we call them, our magical numbers, which were that she actually found out she was starting to fall asleep on her own around like 8 or 9 o'clock on her own. Now, some people say, well, her newborn, 8 or 9 o'clock, that's pretty late. But it wasn't for her. Her circadian rhythm is different. And so, and then she would sleep all night long, and she wouldn't even wake up in the middle of the night, even if she needed a diaper change or anything. And it used to scare me as a parent, because I only have my one child, and I never been a parent before, and I used to be like, what if something happens? She's not waking up in the middle of the night. Is that normal? Well, according to doctors and stuff, they say, yeah, it is. It is normal for some kids, some children. They will sleep through the night. And apparently, I guess we got lucky on that one, because she slept from like 9, it was around like 9 p.m., and she didn't wake up till like 6 o'clock the next morning, which was perfect for us, because I stayed at home with her, and my husband had to be up in the morning to go to work. So he would be waking up when around the time she was waking up, and so he would kind of get her kind of ready, and then he'd bring her to me, and then that's when I would kind of start waking up as well. So it kind of worked out for us. Plus, not only that, but when she was going to bed, we didn't feel like we didn't have any time for us because she fell asleep around like, 8 or 9, and we still had felt like we still had our adult time, before we actually could go to sleep, and my husband didn't have to lose any sleep, because when I didn't feel like I was losing out on us time because of her. So there wasn't any conflict in that, and it's kind of crazy how that actually worked out for us. But I'm not saying that, and I'm not trying to boast here, because if you're a parent out there, every child's different. Just like, every parent is different. We all have our own different things, and we try to force scheduling on each child, but we can only force so much on each other, not just our children, but also on our spouses, our partners, our roommates, and so forth. We each have our own circadian rhythm. So, I mean, you just got to find out what works great for you. So, sometimes though, even if we fix our environment around us, everything else, if you really think about it, if you fix everything around you, sometimes j- everything will fall right in place. So, how and what do we need to do to help, fix things for a better sleep at night? So, besides setting a routine and avoiding caffeine and having a sleep schedule, let's just start with the basics. I mean, let's look at our bed. Let's look at the bedding. Okay. Now, FYI for you guys, and I say this in a couple of my other videos, I do not get any endorsements. I'm not getting any promos. I'm not getting paid. I'm not sitting there saying that, hey, go out and buy this and you have to spend this much money or whatever it is. I'm just letting you know the facts. I will link in the description of the links, or as much as I can, if I can find them, where I get a lot of my information from, as for, videos such as stuff like this. So if I mention certain brands or things like that, don't feel pressured that, hey, because Mental Muse said I would sleep better if I go get this brand, and you go spend that money and you don't sleep better. Don't come back at me and yell at me because I told you to go buy that and told you that you were going to do that. I'm not promising you a great night's sleep because you went to go buy that brand. I am just saying that it's sometimes, the answer can be much more simpler than what we would like to think. So I am just here to kind of break it down a little bit, and many people are thinking, well, okay, so tell me what it is. All right, so let's start with just the simple bedding. Okay, so we're gonna go in layers, because bedding is pretty interesting, because some people sleep with duvets, comforters, sheets, no sheets. Some people sleep with mattress toppers, and different things like that. So let's start with bedding. So, so let's, all right, so let's talk about the finding, the right kind of mattress. Okay, so I mean, if you've ever jumped out of bed right after a really good night's sleep at a hotel, doesn't matter what hotel you sleep at, but many times, if you've ever jumped out of bed and you're like, wow, I feel so much better than I do at home, maybe you should consider a new mattress. Because many hotels, mattresses, they typically are changed out. They are more often than we do at home. We figure it at home, if it's not broken, why fix it, right? So, I mean, and not only that, but I mean, hotels, they can afford it to change out mattresses and stuff like that, because of the constant wear and tear. Two, they may have a contract deal with certain makers and everything, and plus they can afford to change them out because they're costing people an arm and a leg to stay a night at a hotel. Now, I mean, so according to, um, Namisha Baxi. She's a doctor, actually attending psychiatrist or at New York City Hospital for the special surgery. She says that she goes, you know, considering a new mattress is actually especially true if your body has changed since you bought your mattress. Now you got to think about that though. I mean, for instance, if you gain some weight, you may need a mattress with more support. If you maybe your mattress is just worn out over the years. You got to think about that. If you have always slept with two people on your mattress and now there's only one person on the mattress, that can take into consideration what your mattress is actually made out of. They most mattresses are actually made to stay in good condition for about 7 to 10 years. So yeah, so you basically the time covered by the typical warranty is about 7 to 10 years, but I mean it kind of depends if you're sleeping with two people on the mattress or more. Then you may want to consider changing it sooner than later because it's getting worn out faster. Um, so, real briefly, I'm going to talk about the different types of mattresses. So, the inner spring mattresses, they have like the coils are literally the old style. You used to think of the old style where if you grew up in the 80s and 90s, you probably remember this, but you would have like even you know older generations, obviously, the coil, this the inner spring is springs, or actual like metal springs. um they are topped with actual fabric or foam, or sometimes both. The surface is really resilient, and you'll feel as if you're sleeping on top of the mattress instead of being hugged by it, if that makes sense. Like you're sleeping like on top of it, and instead of whenever you sit down or lay down in it, you're not being like, the sides don't kind of hold you and cradle you. You're just laying on top. Um, there are hybrid styles, which they have just thicker layers of foam mixed with the cradling and the resistance. So that's like the newer version of inner springs mattresses. You also have foam mattresses, which are typically made from synthetic foam, including memory foam, which basically softens with your body heat to closely cradle your body, or you know, or it could also be made with latex as well, which has a springier feel to it. Most mattresses out there are made with mostly with foam. They'll say, "Hey, you're made with memory foam." Well, that's basically what that is. It's a foam mattress. It cradles you, and as your body heats and it warms up as you lay on it, it kind of the foam actually will mold to your body. I don't really highly recommend it if you typically get warm at nights, because the mattress doesn't allow for a lot of cooling, so you're gonna have night sweats basically with it. So take that into consideration. The next one would be basically adjustable air mattresses, which typically when you say air mattress, people think about they think about the, like, typically when someone pulls a mattress out or camping or whatever it is, and you just air it up with the pump and there you go. But actually, air mattresses have come a long way, and they're actually getting a little bit more expensive these days. So, air mattresses consist of inflatable chambers. And many of them sometimes now have foam on the top part, or some type of fabric, that you can customize to your own firmness using like an electric pump, or like even remote controls, or even a smartphone app. So I mean, I think that's insane how now that, I mean, air mattresses have come a long way. So don't knock it if so your friend says, "Hey, I got an air mattress," because you're thinking, "Oh my gosh, could you not afford a bed?" No, air mattresses have come a long way. Especially, I think to me, I think they would be a lot more better, I guess, if you live in an apartment that has a higher floor, and if you move around a lot, or if you're younger, because to me it makes sense, or if you're gonna have a lot of roommates or whatever it is, to me it makes sense to have that. I personally, that's what I would do. I mean, it makes sense. And not only that, but when you're done with it or you're going to move, you let the air out, roll it up, and there you go. You don't have to worry about having, 2 to 4 people trying to carry a mattress down flights of stairs, or, trying to fit it in an elevator if you're lucky to live in an apartment with an elevator. But I mean, it's a pain and to move, and then you have to worry about it being dragged on the ground and whatever it is. So if you live in apartments, you may want to try to invest in looking into an adjustable air mattress, and if anything, invest in one with the cool little that comes with a little app, and you can adjust the firmness and and everything else, and there you go. I mean, you're feeling a little sore, why not make it a little softer? If you're feeling, you know, if you're gonna have a guest over, make it a little firmer so it'll support both of you, and you never know. So, and the crazy thing about it, also, speaking of, real quick, about adjustable air mattresses, that actually there are some now that actually allow you to inflate each half of the bed separately. Now that is pretty awesome. I don't know about you, but I think that's pretty kind of cool. I mean, I never have seen an air mattress that adjusts separately for 2 people. I've known regular mattresses to do that. Obviously with like Sleep Number and things like that, but an air mattress, you can adjust it, and that may actually work good to with people that have partners, and you decide, hey, we live on the 6th floor, and and we don't have an elevator, and and so we have to climb all these flights of stairs, and well, let's just get an air mattress and be done with it, and invest in one, and it may work great. So um, when you're shopping for a mattress, though, there really is no best type. Don't fall for the marketing on those things. I mean, mattresses within the same category can feel very different depending on the type of construction it's made out of. Um, so, I mean, if you guys noticed in my last report that I did when it came to dark chocolate, I looked at Consumer Reports, and I got a lot of my information also as well from Consumer Reports as again for this, because it was actually pretty interesting. Again, I read it, and I believe it's in um, the same uh, edition of this magazine that I got the same articles from, but when it talked about this, but so if I list brands and I list numbers and their scoring, it's based off of their expertise, not mine personally. So, but they're basically saying that you know their experts advise trying a model in person before buying it. Okay, even if you're interested in an online brand, like there is an online brand like Casper or Purple, those brands are actually now sold in some retail locations. So you just have to call around and see about see if they have them in store to try out, just to kind of touch and feel it, lay on it, and see how it goes. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I feel kind of grimy if I did that, because I mean, think about how many people had laid and tried on a bed, and yeah, prepare to take a shower afterwards. I'm just saying. But it's if you can't try a mattress out in person, at least make sure that it has a free trial period. Like, many of them actually do have the trial periods where some will say, I've seen on commercials, we'll talk about how you can try out a mattress for probably a good, like, I think 120 days, which I think is like, what, 4 months. Some do it 180 days, which I think is like 6 months. So, I don't think I've ever seen a year, but honestly, that would be a really good deal if you could get one that you can try for a whole year, because that way you kind of can see if you like it. I mean, think about it. You go through all the seasons, you have guests over during like the holidays, and they're gonna, if they want to, sleep on it, see how they may like it, and so it may it may make a better deal if you're more likely to have me buy your mattress if you have a at least a year trial period than if I were to have it only for 3 or 4 months. Because by the time I get it delivered to my place and then I have to set it all up, or even if they set it up for me, I mean, and then I put my bedding on it and then I'm going to sleep on it. I mean, by the time I actually may get used to it, maybe that's their point, but I may get used to it. I mean, you've already pretty much, I mean, you've already it's already time for me to take it down and give it back up. I mean, if I'm not going to keep it. So maybe that's their point. They want you to only have that little bit of taste for it and then hope that you forget, or you just got used to it and you're going to want to keep it. I don't know. But I'm more likely to forget if I had a trial period for a year than if I had it for only 4 months, because I'll be counting the day that it arrives. I'll be like looking on the calendar and already circling and marking ahead, 4 months in advance. Hello, make sure you contact, so you don't get charged. But, yeah, but you definitely, if you can't try it out in person at a location, at least make sure at least has some type of free trial period. Some actually also offer like guarantees, they're like, hey, we don't offer a trial period, but hey, you know what, buy it. If you don't like it, you know, you can get your money back. It's not a big deal. You know what I mean? Or some kind of percentage. It's not free, but it's, like a guarantee, warranty kind of thing. Um, and make sure you know the difference between a retailer warranty and a manufacturer warranty. Those are two separate things. So make sure you read the fine print before you do. Also, if you want to, when you test the mattress out though, and if you're in, especially if you're in store, you want to lie in your favorite sleep position. Now, people think this is so silly when you're in store because everybody's looking at you, but I I'm not very modest. I don't care. I'm gonna throw my body. I'm gonna run and throw my body on the bed because I am going to treat it like as if I'm in my own place. And because if you want me to take this bed home with me today, I'm going to want to lay on it. And how do I lay on it when I'm going to be at home? Because if I treat it and be all nice and special and barely even touch it, then how what if I get home and then I want to get in my favorite position? I can't. And by that point, there may not be some type of warranty. I'm stuck with it. I mean, and it's going to be a mess. So it's better to have a little bit of embarrassment, which I don't see why anybody would sit there and shame me for doing it, because they will be thinking the same thing if they were shopping for a mattress themselves. But you want to, honestly, if you can try, bring your own pillow. Bring whatever pillow you're gonna sleep with. And don't forget to wash the pillowcase when you get home before you put it back on your bed, because you're going to bring your pillow with you into the store and you're going to lay on the bed with your pillow in the sleep position you most likely sleep on, whether it's your side, your back. If you have a partner, how do y'all cradle each other? How do you sleep for most of the night? So you want to do that, and you want to lay that way for at least 15 minutes. Now, if a salesperson hassles you for that, you need to tell them to basically back off, because if they want to make a sale, they will back off. But you want to do it for at least 15 minutes because your body doesn't really relax. At least a certain percentage of your body doesn't relax. It takes that long for your body to be like, okay. So you want to, if your back feels overarched or like it's slumping into the surface, then the mattress isn't going to support you enough. If your body feels pressed against the mattress and not well cushioned, then you probably need one with more pressure relief. They did do like I said, Consumer Reports, they did do a scoring of some of these top mattresses were innerspring, foam, and adjustable air, and they did their ratings and up to their test, simulating 8 to 10 years of average use of these, and they have high owner satisfaction scores, which reflect thousands of readers' experiences worldwide, apparently. So, for their inner spring, they say that the avocado green got an 84. I'm guessing it's out of 100, I'm assuming, overall score. Now, it got top rated mattress. It's more comfortable yet firm, offering stellar support for sleepers of all sizes and sleep positions. Now, avocado green, I've recently heard it over the past couple of years. They seem really new. My daughter was like, "Hey, I want that." I think that Shelly wants it because hey, it sounds green. So I mean, she's all into the whole save the earth kind of thing. So I think and she likes the type of material it's supposed to be made out of. It's supposed to be very environmental friendly. So I don't know where they get their pricing from, but they're saying the avocado green was about $1,900. That to me kind of hurt my wallet a little bit, but I don't know it. And it doesn't tell me the sizes. They don't tell me if it's for a twin, a queen, a king. It just tells me, they're just telling me, which ones these are. So, also, if you're a little more like price conscious, but you still want a good inner spring, the Denver Mattress Doctor's Choice Plush. That's the whole name of it. Now it got an 82. Avocado green got an 84. So, and this one is supposed to be great quality at an attractive price. It's an inner spring, pairs terrific support with a cushy feel and it's about $800. Again, I don't know if that's a king, queen, twin. It doesn't tell me. So, I mean, for half the price, it may be worth checking out. That's not too bad. Now for foam mattresses, you're looking at the Estancia Stramata. I don't know why I said Stramata, but it's actually Stratomy. Oh my goodness, Stramata. Why did I say Stramata? I don't know. What is a Stramata? Who knows? Okay. Anyways, it got an 82. And it's a great choice for petite and average back sleepers. It also delivers standout support for side sleepers of all sizes. But it ranks about a good $3,500, guys. Wow. But if you are money conscious, for an overall score of 81, you got the Casper Original, and it's only $1,200, and it's actually particularly supported for back sleepers, and it won't bounce when your partner moves either. So it's actually pretty good for those that have partners, so who moves around a lot. Okay, so it's like a good almost 60% off compared to the Estancia. So yeah, that's not bad, and it's only 1 point lower. Hey, not bad. So then we have the adjustable air. Now we're getting into the nitty gritty here. We have the Sleep Number 360 P6 Smart Bed. They get an 80. Okay. It's a top scoring mattress, offers great support for side and back sleepers of all sizes, plus excellent stability. And you're talking about $3,000. Wow. For an adjustable air mattress, $3,000. That's crazy. But it's a smart bed, so taking effect, it is probably good for those for those that may have need to be adjustable on both sides or what, I don't know. But for $3,000 for an adjustable air mattress, I mean, I better be getting, the works. I'm just saying. And then we have, if you want to save $300, you can get the Solitaire or Solaire. Sorry, looks like solitaire but without the T. Solaire, and it got a score of 78, which is only 2 points lower, but it is actually you don't save $300, you actually spend $300 more. My bad. So, and it's durable and supportive for both side and back sleepers. That model features a cover made with organic cotton. Wow. So, and it's probably that organic cotton that's going to cost you an extra $300. So again, guys, these I don't know if it is a king size, a queen, a twin, a double, a full. I don't know any of that. It didn't list that, so I have no clue. But yeah, so that is as far as the mattresses go. Now we're going to get into the actual sheets and comforters and all that other good stuff that makes the bed look so pretty. Alright, so let's get into with the bedding and the sheets. Okay, so natural fibers with 100% cotton or linen are more breathable than polyester or a cotton poly blend. If it, okay, when you shop for sheets and bedding, all this, don't worry about the verbiage because all this is actually on the actual product. So just look for these certain words and the terms, and it's not that confusing. It actually will tell you what it's made out of. It'll tell you if you read it. Sometimes it's in small print. Sometimes you have to look over it on the back of the product if it comes in a package, and sometimes on the sides. Or if you're not sure, I mean, you can easily just Google the actual brand name, and and as much as, and type in just as much as you already know about the product, and sometimes Google will just tell you what it's made out of. So but technically it's supposed to, just like food. A lot of the linens and the sheets and comforters and things like that are supposed to tell you what it's made out of, because there are certain people that are allergic to certain types of fabrics and inks and dyes and so forth. So it's just like food, it's supposed to tell you that on there. So don't get caught up in the verbiage. If I mention certain words, you're like, what is that? That is just what it's called. So, but you do want to, natural fibers with 100% cotton or linen. They're more breathable than polyester or a cotton poly blend. So if you are basically, if you get overheated at night, or your room is kind of warm at nights, you kind of want to go with something that's a little bit more natural fibers, or the ones that are 100% cotton. So yeah. And then if you get more colder at night, you want to look for more like a polyester or a cotton polyester blend style. You kind of can feel the difference. There's not that much of a difference unless you know fabrics, but to the average consumer, you can't really feel the difference. You kind of have to. You're like, what does this feel like? What is this? So you kind of have to look. But I mean, honestly, to me, and it also depends if you're washing your bedding too in a wash machine, or is it the type of bedding that you have to take to a dry cleaners. So you kind of have to look at that too. Me personally, I just wash my bedding. So I mean, honestly, going with 100% cotton is a lot more better for my situation, because I know if certain fabrics that I wear is 100% cotton and I can wash them and they turn out just fine, my bedding should be the same way. So it's the same kind of fabric. Now, thread count, typically, thread count people are confused with. Okay, so when you have the higher the number of thread count, the more, almost, I want to say, more silkier it feels in a way. It's going to last a little longer, but you also have to be more careful on the care of it and how, cleaning it and washing it and so forth. And what, if you put lotion on your body at night to make sure you're completely dry, because some fabrics, it will stain it, or the oils will get into it because of the higher thread count. Now, it's basically means it's the number of threads per square inch. Now, sometimes the higher the number, it's not always best. I mean, you got to look at it, what is your lifestyle? How often are you going to change your sheets? I mean, you have to look at, do you change the colors often? Are you moving a lot? Do you have multiple partners? I mean, and how you sleep personally. You got to take that into effect. And plus, if you've got animals, if you've got pets who sleep with you, you got to look into that too, because the higher the thread count, it is also more expensive. So that takes into play too. um, Typically, the cheapest I think I've seen is at Walmart, and I'm not knocking Walmart, okay, but the cheapest I've seen, I think, is at Walmart. I think I've seen as low as like 200. I think I may have one time, probably years ago, saw 150, and I'm thinking that's got to be a rough to sleep with 150, because 150 is, it to me, I don't think it's very soft at all. And not only that, it's gonna probably, and if you're washing it like you wash your bedding weekly, or like every other week or something like that, you're gonna go through it faster. You're gonna have to buy new sheets faster, so it may not be as, you know cheaper in the long run, and maybe more expensive in the long run. So sometimes it's better to do, like my husband says, it's better to buy once, cry once, than to, keep buying, be happy, but you're going to keep buying, and it seems kind of wasteful. But yeah. Um, but sometimes, though, again, though, the higher the number isn't always best. But yeah, the higher the thread count, the sheets, they do seem to last longer. They feel smoother, they're softer, but they may not work well if you have a higher body temperature at night. So again, that's also take that into effect. But they should work okay if you pair it with a 100% cotton or natural fibers, sheets. So you can get 100% cotton with, it may work well. They may pair very well. Now let's get into blankets. Okay, so the more breathable fiber cotton and lightweight wool helps keep warm without being overheated. Now, there are people out there thinking wool. When you hear wool, what do you think of? Oh my God, you think about those itchy sweaters back in the 80s, and you're like, ugh. And you're thinking, no. And you get really, really hot. It's not, it is the same wool, but it's not the same. It's made differently. Wool is just a type of fiber. It shouldn't be itchy or anything like that. But it will keep you warm at night without keeping you overheated, and you're not waking up and you're like, oh my God, I'm so hot, and you have to have a fan on, and then the air gets dry, and then yeah, so you don't want to be overheated. So if you do fleece with polyester, it's too warm if you basically tend to feel warm at nights while sleeping. So you do want to kind of opt for, the wool fibers. You see there's wool / cotton, or wool cotton, or something along those lines, or where it says lightweight. You want to use those, because therefore you're not going to be too hot overnight. And then, but if you tend to get cold at night, you may want to opt for a fleece with polyester because that will actually keep you very warm at nights. Some people actually, depending on where they live, they notice that like in the spring and summer times, they'll switch out their beddings where they'll get a lighter, they'll get like probably the wool during the spring and summer months, and then when you get into fall and winter, they'll switch over to fleece and polyester because where they live at, it probably snows. They actually have an actual fall and winter, versus here in Texas, we don't have that. We have summer one and summer two, and every couple years we may actually have some kind of winter apocalypse. I mean, that's it. I mean, we that's all we get. That's all. So, I mean, if you find anybody that's in Texas and they're basically uh, are sleeping with police, I mean, they're not from here. I'm just saying. So yeah. Uh, and so let's move on to the next level is going to be your comforters. So comforters, softest and fluffiest feather of a goose or duck, add warmth without trapping the heat. Now, people are going to get confused. People are like, oh my gosh, here we go. We're going to talk about goose down, duck down, all that. Do not get caught up in that. I know it sounds overwhelming, guys, and it is not overwhelming. I promise you. It will tell you like a nutritional fact. It will tell you. And if you're not sure, a simple Google search will explain it. I tend to go towards, if I do happen to go for a goose or a duck, I try to get the alternative because I feel conscious about where these actual feathers and stuff are coming from. I mean, even though it doesn't hurt them, but I mean, too much plucking or plucking when they're still young, when these animals are still young, it just breaks my heart. So, yeah, I tend to go to an alternative, or I just go to cotton altogether. I'll deal with it. I'll just turn on a fan if I get too hot. But yeah, so, but if you're not worried about that, and you want the softest and fluffiest, go for a feather of a goose or for the duck. But it will keep you warm, but it won't trap the heat. It'll help kind of let some of that heat out, and you won't be sweating. You want to avoid it, if you're down, look at alternatives like I do. Basically looking for alternatives that are described on the packaging. It says like breathable or temperature regulating. Those things will actually be labeled on the product, so you want to kind of look for those things. The key word is breathable, so that helps. You want to look for designs with small compartments sewn all the way through to keep the filling from bunching up. So think about like if you want to look for like stitching where like almost just like a little like a button should belong there, or like there was like a little like a stitch in the middle of the blanket, or you'll see small stitching, that keeps it for whenever you do wash it, it doesn't, all the inside doesn't pile all together into one section. The more like little square, I'm gonna call them squares. The more little squares you kind of have, or the more like compartments you have, the better it's going to be and the easier it's going to be, and it stays more even, and your bed won't look lumpy once it's laid out. If you want to add a duvet to protect your comforter, we recently just dabbled into that, and actually it's been an interesting, let's just say it's been very interesting, going from not ever knowing first of all, I didn't know what a duvet was growing up. I never heard of a duvet until I was like in my 20s. And then I thought that was the only thing that rich people did. and then I didn't know what's the point of them until I got into my 30s, and yeah, and here I am in my 40s, and I finally actually got my first duvet, and it has been interesting, and it's not that bad once you learn how to do it. You actually we call it rolling up like a dead person. Basically, you want to you the corners are literally tied. They're like there's little strings you just tie. I've always been afraid they're going to rip, but they don't, because that's what they're made for. You just tie the corners. You have the duvet cover inside out. You lay that out, the cover. Then you lay your comforter out. You tie the corners. Then you take the end that doesn't have like a zipper or something like that. You want to take the opposite end and just roll it as tight as possible. When you get all the way to the other side where there's literally a zipper, you want to basically, flip it in there. You want to flip it in almost like inside out. You want to stuff it and put like the zipper over it. So you're stuffing it inside the zipper, and then once you get it all tucked in, then you take it, the zipper section area, and you just shake it all out, and it just perfect. It lays out, and then zip it up. That's all you have to do. It's it's actually, some people can do it as a one person job. I don't think I could ever do it as a one person. I would always probably need at least one person to help me. Um, I would say it's a lot more fun when you have two people doing it, but it's like you're basically rolling up a dead body, and it looks like a dead body because you're rolling it up into this thing, and then you stuff it into almost like in a body bag, and then but then what you're doing is you're flipping it inside out. So now the duvet now the comforter is inside the duvet cover. So yeah. All right. So yeah, if you want to add a duvet though, it will protect the comforter. So all you have to do is really pretty sometimes is just wash the actual duvet versus the comforter as much. So I find it a lot actually after having one now and actually using one. And I mean, I'm one that sometimes I'll eat in my bed, I'll drink in my bed, and we have cats, so they lay up in the bed. I mean, it's not just me, and so it's not that sharing the duvet, so it's not that bad. I find out it's actually a lot. I wish I would have gotten a duvet cover a long time ago. And not only that, if you really think about it, it's so much better because if you change your color scheme, um, all you have to do is buy the cover. You don't even have to buy a whole new comforter. Just buy a new cover, and you can change it out. And and usually the covers are actually can be a lot cheaper than the actual comforter. So, and not only that, when you take off the duvet cover, it's literally like thin like a pillowcase. So it just throw it in your washer, and it's good to go. When you pull it out, you can put it right back on your comforter, and your bedding literally smells like you just washed it. I mean, it works great. So you don't have to feel like you're having to wash your comforter, a big bulky comforter, all the time. Yeah, I do recommend to wash your comforter. This does not give an excuse to not wash your comforter, but you don't have to wash it every time. And it works good, especially it's not so much the wear and tear on your washer and your dryer if you wash at home. So yeah. Um, so let's now that we've got those pieces, we've got the sheets, we've got the linen, we've gotten the mattress worked out. Now let's talk about pillows. So with pillows, okay, so obviously pillows are a must to have at night, just because it's a bed, but because it also can give you a much better night's sleep. Okay, so now I am a pillow person. I love to have a lot of pillows, but I've started to use pillows not just in the sense to have because obviously, I mean, who can sleep without a pillow? But I also have decorative pillows as well, which I put on the bed and then I take it off. I didn't really do this that much growing up, and I mean, I think it wasn't until I hit my like 30s and 40s I didn't start actually adding decorative pillows to the bed. But actually, when you make your bed, it actually looks a lot nicer. It looks cleaner. It looks more inviting. And not only that, you never know if a guest comes over. You know, it does. It looks good. It looks nice. And it makes you want to go to bed at night. So if your bed looks inviting and comfortable looking, you're going to want to go to sleep. So let's talk about pillows now. Now, pillows, I mean, not only, it can give you a much better night's sleep, but it actually helps the measurement of the pillow. You have to, it's like, it's right if it extends from your shoulder blades to just past the top of your head. So imagine when you're laying down on your back, if you're laying, your head is in the middle of the pillow, and the bottom part of that pillow has to measure from it has to extend lower, just right past your shoulder blades, but and then it has to go just past the top of your head. You don't want it too far up above your head, and you don't want it too short or too far down below either. Um, it If it does fit right that way, then it actually should work for you. Um, the whole point of the pillow, it's supposed to it stabilizes your neck. It keeps it in a neutral position, and it aligns it with the rest of your body. Now, you ever waking up, you're thinking, oh my God, I got a headache, or oh my God, my neck is so stiff. Well, it's probably your pillow, you know? So, and it's not necessarily how you slept, it could be because of your pillow. Now, I have gone through so many different pillows. Over a lifetime is crazy. I hear recently, I think I finally invested and actually decided to go ahead and spend the money on some what I would consider kind of expensive, but pillows. But they were under $100. But I mean, yeah, they worked for me, and they're able to and I've also got the pillow covers over them on top of the actual pillowcases, so it actually protects them, so I don't have to worry about my investment going bad and having to replace it sooner. So, but yeah, but just because it measures correctly though on your pillow, it doesn't mean that it's right for you. So, once you get the measurement right, now you need to talk about your sleep position, because your sleep position will determine whether the right pillow, is going to be right for you. So, let's talk about that. Now, some folks stay in one position all night. That's very rare. But like, I recently actually um, put in cameras, into our room, because just so I can kind of see how I was sleeping, and how I could, how what positions am I in at night, to see why am I waking up a certain way? Why does my leg hurt? Why is my back hurt? Why I got a headache? How am I sleeping? No wonder, and I will go back and I'll relook at it, and I can see, oh, no wonder. You know what I mean? Is it the cat that's because she's laying on me? Is it because I am, moving too much? Is it my pillow? Am I constantly adjusting my pillow at night? I don't know. So, I mean, you may want to think about that. You may want to go back and find a little cheap little camera and see if that may help you out, and just so you can and look at the footage and see. You don't even need sound, but just something that just shows night vision, and you can kind of just for have it set up for a few days or a week or even 30 days or whatever it is, and go over it and kind of say, okay, now I see I was really, really stressed that day, and that's why maybe that's why I could not, I didn't sleep very well. Maybe that's why I woke up with a headache. But, or it could be that, but then the next couple nights you slept fine. So you kind of want to have it for a little bit length of time so you kind of can get in more of a range of what to look for. So the position you need to focus on, the position you stay in for at least 60 to 70% of the night, okay? So like I said, a good way you could figure that out. You could use you can get a camera. You can get a camera for like $20. There's some are just like a plug and play. Some are actually, you can get ones that don't even need a plug. You can just put batteries in it and it's good to go. Just make sure you're using it, responsibly. Don't you and make sure if you have a partner you're sleeping with, make sure that they are aware that there's a camera there, because you don't want to start arguments later. And yeah, so but yeah, just you could use it, and it doesn't have to hook up to the internet or nothing, but you do need something that at least hooks up to Bluetooth so you can go back and look at it either in the cloud or something like that, so you can refer back to it the next day or so forth. Also could be also just look at see how your partner is sleeping, because it could be them, and it could be them are being the cause of why you can't sleep at night. Who knows? Or you can go old school way and just, ask someone to sit there, be creepy, and sit in a corner, dark corner, and just watching you all night for 2 or 3 days. That's not creepy or nothing, but whichever way you want to work. But either way, you know, um, yeah. So, with for my experience, I did the camera. Obviously, it worked really well. I hooked up to the Wi-Fi. It wasn't a big deal. It was just a plug-in. I downloaded an app. I used the cloud storage. Some of them actually, if you're only going to use it for a few days or a few weeks, you can get like the cheapest plan. I think you can get a cheap plan for like $4, and then you can cancel it. Now that you got an idea. Some offer like a 7-day free trial or something like that. So you may want to, maybe worth it. But yeah, so I just wanted to kind of give you some clarity on, on how you can, monitor how you sleep, and, on how much you move continuously throughout the night. Now, once you know this, then you should know if you are a side sleeper, a back sleeper, or a stomach sleeper. So, let's just talk about each one, okay? So, side sleepers, if you are a side sleeper, you already know your work, okay? You need pillows with adequate fluff, okay? The thicker the better, okay? You need the Lizzo pillow. That's what you need. You'll need to make sure that the height of the pillow covers the distance between the ear and the shoulders on the side that you usually lay on. You want no space. There's no space distance between them. That needs to be as full as possible for support for your neck. If when you side sleep, tend to do what most people do, like if your knee or your leg pitches forward and then bends at the knee, and then if it does that, it puts a strain on the top hip. Try a pillow that is made, to go in between your legs. There are ones that are made that some actually you can actually it uses Velcro. It actually tends to wrap around your thigh or something like that without kind of circulation, but it actually will keep it there in place. So if you toss, it's already there. You don't have to keep moving it. But you can get a pillow specifically for this, and and you can put it, and it's made to go in between your legs, extending from your mid thigh to your mid lower leg. Doing that will actually realign your pelvis and actually add cushioning between your knees. So it actually helps. Now, let's talk about you back sleepers. Okay, so you guys have an advantage. Okay, I am jealous of you back sleepers. Now, I've actually noticed I sometimes, depends, I tend to somehow, I don't know why, but I will sleep at the foot of the bed on my stomach, but then when I tend to sleep at the head of the bed, sometimes I end up going to sleep on my back. I don't know why I do that. I am a rarity, I guess. But if you are a back sleeper, though, you have full advantage, okay? Laying in that position, though, distributes weight more evenly than a side sleeper does. And then, not to mention, it's less vulnerable to pressure on the lower back, assuming you have a great mattress. Now, yeah, think about that one. You guys need to choose one thick enough to cradle your head without straining your neck. If you have a bad back, a pillow under your knees, may help the muscles around the lower spine relax, relieving traction. Now, have you ever gone to a chiropractor and you've had where you've done, our chiropractor calls it a spinalator, but it's like a machine. It's like almost like a bowling ball that goes up and down your spine, and you're laying on your back. They usually put a pillow or something like that underneath your knees. And if you ever had an MRI done, they put a pillow underneath your knees. It helps relieve and it helps the lower spine relax. So it doesn't tense up and you're not in this weird awkward position all night long. Now, most chiropractors prefer their patients to try to sleep in this position as long and as much as possible if they're able to. Back sleeping works great. And now, finally, we get to how I sleep, and it's such a hard habit to break. But stomach sleepers, okay, we have to learn to switch to back or at least to the side. Sleeping on your stomach isn't ideal because it's impossible to maintain a neutral neck. Yes, they say stomach sleeping. When I told the chiropractor looked at me and was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like I just totally might as well said curse words. I mean, it's crazy. Um, so yeah, you do not. You're not supposed to be sleeping on your stomach. Maybe this is another reason why they also tell new parents to make sure you put your child on their back, because it trains them. Not only is it also to cut down SIDS, but it keeps them from strains them neck muscles, but it also keeps their back aligned, and it actually helps them sleep soundly. They sleep better that way. And you ever wonder, like, when you go to the movies or you're sleeping on the couch and you're on a recliner and you're laying on your back and you actually somehow sleep better than when you're in your bed? Well, maybe there's something to that. I don't know. So, yeah, apparently, though, there is an option. If you can't switch positions, then sleep with no pillow. Okay, that was just mean for me. I did not like hearing about that. So you're not supposed to. If you're gonna sleep on your stomach, sleep with no pillow, because at least you're flat. Well, I'm sorry, but I like my pillows, my 10,000 pillows, and I don't know who out there. If you're a pillow person, raise your hand. I mean, I'm over here thinking, yeah, I need my pillow. So, but they said though, without a pillow, it will help keep your neck and your spine in closer alignment. The point though is to try to avoid stomach sleeping as much as possible. Um, so now, I mean, that we pretty much talked about, everything that pretty much that goes on the bed. Let's talk about the basics about mattresses and how to build it. Um, Basically, we we talked about those. We talked about the mattresses. We talked about the whole the linen. We talked about the comforters. We talked about, the pillows. What else more can we talk about here? Now, you definitely need to look into the next step would be actually to look into the rest of your room. Now, I mean, we've got everything from, the air to the sound to the lighting. I mean, you've got so much more to go. And honestly, I thought this video was only going to be maybe an hour long, but actually, guys, there's so much information here. I'm actually almost done though. We are at a halfway point. If you've made it this far, guys, congratulations. You guys rock. So yeah, let's get in talking about the rest of the bedroom. Alright guys, so let's talk about the actual lighting. Okay, so darkness is the body's cue to go to bed. Okay, allowing the pineal gland in the brain to secrete more melatonin, the hormones associated with sleep. And then light suppresses that production. So you really want to make sure that the lighting in your room is adequate, but at the same time you also want to make sure when you're going to sleep, the darker the better. And also it actually helps your circadian rhythm to know when it's daytime and when it's nighttime. So you want to get as much outdoor light as you can during the day and reinforce that contrast between day and night by putting away your phone and tablets and dimming your lamps as well before bed. Okay, so your brain knows, okay, it's time to settle in. It's time to, start calming down. We do this as children. We tell our kids, if you have kids, that okay, it's time to turn on your little bedtime lamp. Let's turn off the big lamp. Let's close the blinds, draw the curtains. Let's turn on the little night light. Let's calm. Well, why don't we do that as adults? We don't. We have bedside lamps, but sometimes we tend to use them more for accessories and aesthetics than we do for actual functionality. And yet we also have windows and blinds, but yet we don't ever open them and don't ever let the natural light in during the daytime. Well, because we're vampires here, guys. Have y'all realized that? Apparently, we tend to, especially if you live in the city, you tend to, and if you live in cities like, like I want to say like Vegas or Hollywood, or even in near New York and stuff like that. Those are cities that don't sleep. The lighting is so much in there everywhere. The sights, the sounds, the lights, they never go away. That's why it's important sometimes to opt for certain things to help out. There are things out there in the market that you can invest in yourself, because if you don't invest in yourself, you're not going to get your best sleep. Now, when we talk about the lighting, though, you want to, I mean, you want to know, try to train your brain, reinforce that contrast between day and night, by putting everything away and dimming your lamps and stuff like that. Now, there is, according to Consumer Reports, they said that their favorite sunrise alarm clocks, such as Philips Smart Sleep Wake Up Light. It's $100 apparently. They said it helps that process along by creating both a simulated sunrise to help you wake up and calming sunset to help you feel sleepy in your bedroom. Now, I I think I found one similar to like something like that on Amazon for a fraction of that cost. I think it was like 10, 20 bucks, and I got it, and I didn't have no space for it, but I got it because I thought it was cool looking, because it almost looks like a, like, I don't want to say like a rainbow effect, but but it looks nice, and it doesn't look too babyish. It has like a bamboo like stand, and then it, and everything. It looks really cute, but at the same time not cute like baby. It looks mature, and I didn't have space for it, so I gave it to my daughter, and she put it on her desk, so when she studies and stuff, it gives her the not only it gives her the date, the time, it gives her the temperature, and she can set an alarm on it. So, and when she goes off to college, hopefully it'll help her, sleeping and waking and so forth. But it's actually, when she plugged it up, it actually is real. I actually am a little jealous that I gave it to her. But anyways, I have no space for it. I got enough in my little space that I really don't need that. But I couldn't help but buy it because I thought it was actually interesting how it does that. It does help you with a simulated sunrise and then also a simulated sunset. It's calming. It actually has sounds as well, like white noise, but it also kind of it wakes up your all the senses. Um, if you can't afford something like that, or you don't have room for something like that, try block outside lighting with blackout shades or a sleep mask. You can get a sleep mask for like less than $10 at a Walgreens, guys. I mean, it's not. I mean, you can get the kind that are a little bit weighted that have beads in them, and my daughter swears by hers. I mean, you can heat it up too, but she just puts it on because sometimes I'm still up and I have lighting going on, and she's like, "I'm going to bed. You're annoying," and she puts it on. So, yeah. But it works, and it gives it just enough weight on her eyes where her eyes feel like it is nighttime, and it blocks out anything out. Um, and also blackout shades work, as well as if you can't afford that, get some the blackout curtains. You can get those at Walmart, Target, and they're not that much more. They're not that expensive, and they're interchangeable. There are some that actually. And many of them work. And how you know it's a blackout curtain, because if you look at the curtain on the back side, it's black. There are now starting to come out with some curtains that you can't even tell they're blackout curtains on either side, because it works with the lighting in the room. It's like high tech material where it will literally create this effect itself in the fibers, and it will turn into like a black on the back side of it on its own. And then whenever the sun comes up, that blackness kind of goes away. It's so crazy. I can only imagine how much that costs, but I saw that online and I thought, oh my gosh, that's crazy. But hey, invest in yourself for your best sleep, right? So yeah, let's see. So, I mean, you know, you want also, we're going to talk about the air quality. I mean, yeah. Um, so indoor air quality, it's very, not only is it very important consideration, especially people with asthma or dust allergies, but you have to also consider that, dust and vacuuming your room at least once a week, guys. I mean, if you have carpet, or even if you have rugs, if you can wash them. If you can't wash your rugs, at least invest in getting like one of those little, like a small, like shampooer, and just shampoo at least the high traffic area. That would help out cut down a lot of the allergies, especially in the high traffic areas. And consider when you walk into your, if you're not going to do it when you walk in your home, at least before you get to your bedroom door, consider taking off your shoes, or don't put your shoes on until after you get out of your room, because you're not dragging in allergens and so forth. Same thing with bags, coats, jackets, purses, things like that. Have a dedicated space for them, but try to keep them as far away from your actual bed area as possible. or keep them in a separate like closet area or somewhere else that you know they're safe but and are within reach and stuff like that, but they're also not going to be where you sleep at night. um, but as far as the fresh air though, it all, if you do dust and you vacuum, when you dust though, make sure you dust from top to bottom. Most people don't consider that. They just start dusting anywhere, or they dust from eye, level, and that's it. No. And my advice also, if you have a ceiling fan, dust your ceiling fan before you wash your bedding and stuff, because that may help as well. I keep sometimes forgetting. I wash my bedding often, and I keep forgetting to dust the ceiling fan. And I'm like, oh my god, I so need to dust that. Now there have been TikToks out there that, and I haven't tried it yet personally, but people have used the whole using a pillowcase, I guess, that will kind of help trap the dust bunnies when you do each blade, I guess. And I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, I guess it would work. I've seen it. It looks like it works on the TikToks, but I'm clumsy, and I would probably fall, and I'm short, so I'd probably fall off my bed and break a foot, ankle, my bust my head open before and yank down the ceiling fan along with me, and just trying to make it easier. So I just need to put her a sticky note next time. If I remind myself that I'm going to do the bedding, I need to put a sticky note. Make sure you dust before you do it. So, and if you got other smaller fans, make sure you dust them as well, especially if you use them at nights. And don't forget when you are dusting to dust those light bulbs in your lamps and your lamp shades, and when you dust your bookshelves, make sure you're not just dusting just the top part of your books. I mean, you need to, sometimes you may need to actually remove the actual books off the shelf and dust the whole shelf, then put them back up, because dust actually is so small it can collect in between the pages of a book, and the next time you get the book down, you're just stirring it up in the air. So take that into consideration. Also, so when you do dust those, top to bottom and vacuum last. Yeah. And then because you want it, you basically are wanting to make sure that it's not respiratory issues that are gonna keep you from waking up in the morning refreshed, but also it doesn't keep you from, you know, not falling asleep or getting a good night's sleep because the air is too dry. If it's too dry, get a humidifier. If it's too moist, you may want to consider having maybe a light fan going near your bed that will kind of dry out the air. There's also you may want to consider an air purifier. Now, I just came across this. I'm just kind of getting into the whole air purifiers for a while. I thought, hey, those are really, they're shams. They don't work. They're not the greatest. But I I'm still not quite sure if they actually work. I'm more like work. But I'm not sure if they actually work, if you know what I mean. I have one. I turned it on. I have it set on timer, and but I noticed though, and I had to Google this because I didn't realize this was an actual thing. Though, when I do have it on, I notice there's times when I do have it on and I have it on for like 2 or 3 or 4 hours a day or longer, and then, or it's on auto, it cuts on and off, and I have it running. Yeah, I notice those are the days sometimes I'll have headaches or I'll feel lightheaded, and then I googled it, and I found out that some air purifiers, it messes with the ions that are in the air, and it can actually create too much, I think, CO2, and which is like carbon dioxide, and it can cause you to feel lightheaded. It's like I am slowly killing myself over here with the air purifier. So you may want to kind of maybe either look into the different types of air purifiers and look into, what kind of ions it works with, how big of one do you need, and where you're going to put it in your room. You don't want it right next to your bed, but you also don't want it in the other end of the house, and you're not getting no benefit from it. You want it to fit the size of the room that you're in. And so, yeah. And you not only that, but you also want to make sure that you're, when you do have an air purifier, if you decide to go that route, is to make sure that you're not setting it against any walls or furniture, because otherwise airflow, it won't go through, because what it does, it works by sucking in the air and then it pushes out, like it cleanses the air. And make sure you're changing those filters. My advice: invest in the better or a little bit more expensive ones, only for the simple fact is that those kind, you don't have to buy extra filters. You can actually just wash the filter, put a reminder once every 30 days or first of the month, wash it out depending on how often you use the air purifier, and then put it back, and then let it air dry, and then put it back in, and you're good. So you may want to take that into consideration. um and then we also have the temperature. I mean, you obviously, a cool room and a cozy bedding, um, all that actually gets your body ready for sleep. So, to help your body cool its core, you want to set your thermostat about 65 degrees in time for bed. Now, I'm in Texas, and apparently the grid is like, no, we want everybody to set their thermometers at 70 something degrees. And I'm like, yeah, you might as well just tell us that we might be living in hell, because that is not happening. I'm sorry. Nope, nope, nope. I mean, there is a few people that I live with in this house and who are comfortable at 72, 73. I'm over here like, no, not at nighttime. At nighttime, I will meet you in the middle at at about 67, 68, and that's with a ceiling fan on and a regular fan. So, I mean, yeah, and sometimes I even have to sleep with the ice packs, because I'm like, I have to cool my body down. And I don't know, maybe it's because I'm in my 40s, I don't know. But not according to my doctor, I'm still young, so we know that's not the reason. So, yeah, but according to Consumer Reports, they're saying that you want to set your thermostat about 65 degrees in time for bed. A fan or an air conditioner can help too. You want to look for one that won't make a racket. It's not really high in decibels. Um, they're saying um, that there was 94% of people who bought an air conditioner or fan to improve sleep found it somewhat or very effective. Right? 94% is actually pretty good. So I would consider almost like white noise. Now, if you can't afford one or don't have the space for one, you can always just go like on YouTube, and actually, if you just put in the search bar box fan, and it will be on there for like 24 hours or live, and it'll stay on there all night long. Put your earbuds in, and it sounds like a fan is on, but you won't feel the temperature, but the noise may help you go to sleep. So that may help too. And then back at the whole air thing, the humidity, I did briefly talk about that. Low indoor humidity can dry out your skin, your nose, your throat. Allergens also become more airborne more easily that way, and it irritates your airways and making it harder to breathe. So you want to look for like a type of humidifier um, that is quieter, and it evaporates moisture into the air. There is one they're saying it's called ultrasonic humidifiers, like it's called Baby Move Hygro, and I guess it's positive. Um, it actually it tends to be quieter than evaporated bottles. which use a fan instead of vibration to move vapor. They're also saying that they advise setting the humidity level between 30 to 50% to loosen any mucous membranes for a better breathing and sleeping. Um, Basically, guys, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, as far as the basics of getting a good night's sleep. I mean, we talked about your mattress, we talked about the linen, we talked about the lighting, the air quality. I mean, what else did we talk about? I mean, there's not really much. I mean, the noise. I mean, you can try to cut out the noises, but like I said, I mean, there are people out there, and I don't know about you, but I mean, I usually sleep with the earbuds in anyway. So you can always, if you can't sleep and there's too much noise, consider going on YouTube or something and just looking up ASMR videos, and you can actually set it where your phone's not bright, but you can actually just turn your phone over, or set it across the room, but just turn it on just where it's just that, and put the do not disturb setting on your phone. And mine automatically goes on at think about 9 o'clock, 9 or 10 o'clock, and then it doesn't turn back. I can pause it for 30 minutes if I want to, if I need it, just for a few minutes. But yeah, I won't get any messages. I won't get any notifications, and nothing goes off, and I won't get anything, and it doesn't turn. It won't. The do not disturb notification doesn't turn off until I think I have it set like at 6 or 7 in the morning. So, and then suddenly I get an influx of all the notifications. But yeah, um, I don't advise that if you have, children, or if you're co-parenting and stuff like that, if they're away from the home, because you don't want, to miss in case there's an emergency. But if you are, it's just you yourself, and you don't have to have responsibility of nobody else, you may want to consider that, the do not disturb mode on your phone. So, I mean, as a recap, guys, basically, you, for your mattresses, you basically want to make sure you're switching positions. You want to rotate your mattress every 6 months. If you sleep with a partner, sleep in the middle. If you're sleeping alone, try moving to a different part of the bed to avoid an even wear on it. You want to if you don't want to get a whole new bed or a whole new mattress, consider a topper. Now, we recently decided to get a topper. I prefer one that's we got one, I think it's almost about 3 inches thick, and it's foam, but it works so much better. And not only that, it raised the bed. That here recently, when we just washed the actual cover for the actual topper, and we took off the cover, and when we moved the topper off the mattress, I didn't realize how low my bed was, because I got used to the height. It's so weird. Now the height is so high, I have to actually step on a stool to get onto my bed. But I actually like it that way. I feel like a princess. So yeah. But if you can't afford to get a whole new mattress, guys, then just consider getting a topper. You can get toppers for like under $200, and yeah, and that extra layer, it won't improve a poor or worn out mattress, but it can soften a high quality one that simply feels too firm. So, and not only that, but it also can prolong your mattress a little bit longer until you can save up the money to get the actual mattress you want. Also, think about a zip on a waterproof encasement to keep dust mites at bay as well. It also prevents sweat and stains from permeating the mattress, which speed deterioration. So again, like I said, our mattress topper also came with an actual mattress topper cover that we can actually unzip it, take it off, and wash it, and then so it's saving the topper, but it's also saving the mattress underneath. So you might want to consider that. And not only that, when you think of waterproofing, you're thinking it sounds like it's going to make noises. Not always. There are a lot of waterproof mattress toppers that don't make noises, and no one would even know. So it actually may work really well, especially if you have kids and you have pets, and or if you like to eat or drink in the bed, or if you're clumsy like me. I ended up recently spilling um, soda and coffee, and yeah. So, and I tried um, it was I think I tried a Delta 9 gummy a year ago, and I thought I would eat some tamales, and I ended up getting tamale juice, stain on the bed. And I was kind of mad at myself after, I became normal again in my head. And I was like, where did that stain come from? And my kid was like, hey, do you not realize what happened? I was celebrating my birthday, and yeah, I guess I had a little too much fun with that. But yeah, so, and don't forget to vacuum under and around your bed. We literally like to vacuum, like, because we have carpet in our bedrooms. There are some people that are in a lot of, like, some apartments are now opting for no carpet at all, and are just going straight to the linoleum or tile, or hardwood flooring, or things like that. So if you're sweeping, make sure you can do the old school uh, mop, and then turn around and go back over it with a Swiffer dry, I would assume, because it would be, it kind of picks up the extra dust bunnies, and then go over it with a, a wet mop. That would actually work well. So, but don't forget to get underneath, because just because you're not sleeping and it's not on top of your actual mattress does not mean it's not affecting you, because air moves it around. Air will move it around. You're walking around, it's going everywhere. So when you clean your floors, use an attachment tool, get into the crevices and around, and make sure, don't forget to do around your headboard. That is important. A lot of people forget about the headboard area, and you want to make sure you want to do that. When it comes to a recap on your actual bedding, you want to make sure you change your sheets at least once a week. Kill the dust mites by using your washer's hottest setting, followed by your dryer's normal setting. Or if you want to be kind of lazy, and if you have the money, buy 2 sets of sheets so you can pull one off, and while you're waiting to get around to washing, you can go and put a new set on. Um, Also, I honestly, I would turn around. I would also, if you can do it, use your vacuum crevice tool, and do a light vacuum over a really quick vacuum over the top part of your mattress as well, when you remove the sheets, if you can do that. That actually helps too as well, especially me eating the bed too, because sometimes crumbs get underneath there. So yeah, so you want to wash your bed blankets according to the label instructions once a season. If there's no label, use a gentle cycle with warm water and a mild detergent. Avoid fabric softeners. They leave residues and can make sensitive skin itchy and irritated. Now, I'm I'm just amazed that they sit there and tell you to wash your blankets once a season. I'm sorry, I can't do that. I at minimum, I'm washing once a month. I can't do that once a season. No, sorry, not happening. I the once a season. That's, you only wash your bedding like a once every 3 months. No, no, nope, nope, no, no, not for me. I do it at minimum. Minimum is once a month. I mean, I used to do it almost twice a month, depending. But yeah. All right, and then wash down and synthetic comforters according to their care labels. Some are dry clean only. So like I told you guys, make sure you're reading those labels before you buy, because sometimes you can't really return them once you already bought them, because it's something that, it's unsanitary to do flies. So you want to be careful with that. So make sure you're reading all the way around the packaging. And if you're not sure, Google it before you buy it. Take that time. Take time when you shop for your bedding. Keep the filling from clumping. Add a few tennis balls when you're putting it in the dryer. honestly, they actually make actual like fabric balls now where you can buy, and are specifically made for the dryer. I don't recommend throwing tennis balls in there only because tennis balls are made of rubber, and when rubber heats up, it just causes weird smell. It's just me, but I mean, I personally, I've never really had a problem with, not putting anything at all and just throwing them in there. But if you want to follow the instructions, then look and find those fabric balls that are specifically made for the dryer. Those actually are specifically made for it, and they'll work. Um, you want to wash your pillows once a season according to label instructions, two at a time to keep the load balance. Now, to me, I would recommend, I guess it depends on the size of the pillows, but honestly, once a season's not that bad, because considering that I use an actual pillow cover as well as a pillowcase on top of that. So I will actually wash the pillowcases um, every time I wash my sheets, so about once a month, or sometimes twice a month, because I drool in my sleep. I'm just crazy like that. But if but the actual cover that goes over my actual pillow, I'll wash once a month, and then, but the actual pillow itself, honestly, because I have king size pillows, I would probably would take those to an actual laundry mat and actually use the biggest washer available, and actually probably wash them once a season, because not so much as, since I have so many layers, not so much is going to get through. Now, unless I was totally sick, then that'd be a whole different ballgame. Now, if I'm not washing, I would sometimes will go over with some Lysol spray. I'll spray anything that I'm not gonna wash, and I let it kind of air out. I will also, I may go over it with some Febreze or something like that. Or there's this actual brand, it's called Fresh Care, and I've actually started to fall in love with it. It smells great. It's kind of pricey, but it's not too bad. I got it like a small bottle for like, I think about $6-7 or whatever, but about the same price as Febreze. So yeah, but it's supposed to be better for you. It had not so much chemicals in it, and it gives you that fresh smell. So you may want to look into that. Um, and then you have, I mean, to recap on the actual, for your, uh, for your actual room itself, clutter increases stress. And some people, according to a 2018 study, and stress may subvert sleep. So keep things like paperwork and unfolded laundry elsewhere, or hide them in beautiful bins. So if they look nice, it's almost like ignore that it's there. No, but you want to keep your room is, like we say, we sleep better when we're in a nice hotel room because it's clean. It's nice. Everything's good, clean lines, clean colors. Everything looks inviting, and that's why we sleep so well. And then when you leave for the day and you come back, your bed is made because the housekeeper came in there, cleaned, did everything good, and treat your room the same way, except unfortunately you're going to be the housekeeper. But it works. It works, and it's worth the effort if you're going to get a good night's sleep, and you'll have more energy, so you'll look forward to doing it, and you can put that energy towards continually making your room better for you to sleep in. You also, make sure your vacuum, if you have a window unit, make sure you're vacuuming the window unit and the AC filters every few weeks. You'll wash with warm soapy water a few times a season, and to basically maximize the airflow. Now, the filters are not that hard to change out. I mean, most of them you don't really change out. You just have to clean it. It's not that hard. And many old apartments, you got window units, you could ask your landlord, about that, or ask a local maintenance man and ask them, hey, I can change it out, you know, but I have really bad asthma or I have breathing issues or whatever it is. Can you change it out? I mean, they're supposed to be doing these things anyways because it's called maintenance for a reason, and you pay, you most apartment places you pay fees towards maintenance. That's what your rent goes towards. So make sure that you make sure that's written in your contract and make sure you mention it, or at least be nice and ask. And if they're not going to do it, then at least make sure that you do it, and make sure you do it. Like say like, hey, I'm washing my bedding, so now I need to do everything, you know, I need to dust, and if I'm dusting, I'm going to clean the air filter, because otherwise it makes no sense to dust and wash your bedding if you're not going to clean your air filter. So you probably need to do that. And if you don't have window units and you have like central heating and air, make sure you do it regularly. Change out your air filter that's in your home as well. Those air filters, there's different. There's like what they call like, they got good, better, and best. I mean, it to me they're all this. They're all almost all the same. I mean, obviously the cheaper one you're gonna probably have to change out more often, but I mean, to me, it depends on the season. If you're using your AC here in Texas, we use our AC almost year round, so it makes sense to invest in a higher quality, because that way you can make your filter can last a little longer. But if you're in, say, up north and you're not using your AC year round, you may want to kind of think about putting maybe getting a cheaper air filter and then just change it out as needed, like weekly or bi-weekly or whatever, just to get you through that season. um, so, and then, I mean, I guess that's almost pretty much it. I mean, you have, um, you want to also, you know, keep your, the humidifier, you know, you want to fend off any mold. You want to rinse it with water daily and keep it, you want to deep clean it, you know, like once a week at least, by watering it with a water vinegar solution. Like you can use it, you know, white vinegar, you know, just same thing if you do if you have a Keurig or like a one, you know, single cup coffee maker. White vinegar works really well. You know, just put a little bit in the little water compartment and let it run its course. That usually helps. You know, you just kind of just do it according to the manufacturer instructions, because I don't want to sit there and lead you astray and you said, well, you told me I could use this in my humidifier. Look at your manual. It tells you how to care, how to use it, and how to clean it properly. But don't be fooled by trying to thinking you're going to have to buy these high dollar cleaning solutions, because some of them are, all it is probably just vinegar. I find lemon juice sometimes works as well. And just running on the highest, hottest setting of water, and it works. It kills mold and mildew and all that. So yeah, and if you try to do that and you still end up still seeing mold and mildew in it or whatever it is, you may just need to have to throw it out and get a whole new one. And my advice is don't, just get a different brand, because you may end up with the same issue later on if you stick with the same brand. So yeah, so I guess, guys, I think that's about all there really pretty much is when it comes to your room. So, I mean, I guess you guys, I mean, I hope, you know, this has helped you guys out and finding the right night's sleep. I'm hoping, I didn't realize this video was going to be almost twice as long as I expected it. I was thinking it's going to be just as long as the dark chocolate video, but hey, you know, there is so much information out there for you guys. I mean, I will probably put the, I'll probably, if I can't put the exact link where I got this from, all my information from Consumer Report. If I can't find the actual link that kind of leads to it, I will definitely post photos in this video of the articles, so you can, I guess you can kind of pause and read for yourself, or to go back and look over it. I hope this has been very, very informative for you guys, and yeah, I'm also in the process, just so you guys will look forward to it. I am in the process of working on a cult video. It is going to be a little lengthy as well, because there's so much to it and it's so deep. But it has been covered before, so it's nothing new, but it's new to my channel, so it's new to me, so I'm going to say it's new. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video as far as being informative. I hope I helped you out, guys. Made it a little bit more easier for you to either get a good night's sleep, and I hope you guys, help you find the right mattress, the right linen, the right bedding, the right lighting, the air room temperature, the noise, everything. I hope I covered it all. There's probably some stuff I could have covered but didn't, and probably won't think about it until midnight tonight when I probably can't sleep. So anyways, I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope, or night, or wherever you're at, and make sure you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that like button, and because these aren't the only kind of videos I'm going to be putting out, so you will not regret it if you hit that subscribe button. It's going to take me time to rebuild my channel at the videos again. I'm going about it a different way to fix this algorithm so I don't get any strikes and so forth. So yeah, I guess that's it. So I hope you guys have a great day or night, or sleep well, and I guess that's it. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a great one. Thanks guys for watching. Bye.